Hi everyone, it's Killshot99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 7. Spoiler updates. They are going to be limited tonight, but we've got lots of other stuff to talk about. We are going to do our Grimes giveaway. We'll talk about that. A couple little side topics we'll get into, but for the most part, we're going to talk about some video that has been released, and that's going to give us a little bit of insight. It's some minor spoiler information, but I think we can be able to do a little deductive reasoning and find out some things that we were talking about earlier are not necessarily going to happen that way. So it looks like it's still a mystery that's out there. Maybe spoilers post later on tonight. If they do, we'll get some updates and maybe even get a rush video over the next couple days. So we got super chats already in the house. Scott Kernan, do I have a feeling we won't get spoilers for 9-8? They could be kind of tight-lipped right now. That maybe we won't get them tonight or next week, so we'll have to see how that plays out, Scott. And also Valar, hello to the 999 Army, Kill Steph, Emmy Kale, Sweet Tommy, sponsors, patrons, and of course, all of the super chatters that are out there. So, yeah, I mean, spoilers are good. We've gotten several prediction videos out there, so it's just always good to get the spoilers and sort of tie it back in. And many people have not seen the videos yet, so it will be a good conversation topic to go along with that. So we are going to make the announcement for the Cheryl's She Shed. That's a little bit of a hint if you guys have not figured it out already. But before we do, I'm going to bring some closure to all of this. Let me say this, because there's people that like to go back and forth and start drama. They know who they are. I'm going to go on record once again for like the 1 millionth time and say this. I respect all people who do YouTube videos for The Walking Dead. I know people work hard. I know they do those things. And it's not a backhanded comment. I'm not going to say but I am going to say but. Here's the deal. When you get behind a camera or you get behind a microphone and you decide that you want to do YouTube videos, whether you want to or not, you set yourself up for scrutiny. It's just the way it is. So when you do a theory, when you do a prediction, and it's wrong, you can't just be a little snowflake and, oh my God, people disagreed with me. They didn't like my theory. I'm going to tell you, I've gotten death threats. I've gotten, you would not believe some of the stuff that I've had sent to me. It's unbelievable. But we keep coming back and doing this thing. And it comes with the territory. When you do a spoiler, you do a prediction. When you do a theory, people are going to either agree or disagree. When I did the Orange Crush theory way back when with Abraham, people thought it was the laughing stock. When we talked about the chopper, people were like, that's dumb. That's not going to happen. So they happen. And it's not to clown anybody or to hurt anybody's feelings with a theory, but when you do that, you need to understand that not everybody's going to agree with you, and if they don't agree with you, they have a right to disagree. I see it all the time. So just don't be overly sensitive about stuff. And with that being said, I love and appreciate each one of you, but there's a few people that do jump in our streams and jump in other streams, and they like to go back and start drama. It's just the nature of what some people do. So, and when people get half the facts and they don't know the whole story and they don't know what goes on, it just kind of riles other people up. And look, I'm not here to back down from anybody, but I just like for people to come here and not feel drama. At the same time, they're going to give their opinion. So that's just the way it goes. Right? Now let's get into it. Let's have a little bit of fun. We come here to have a good time, not to bash anybody else. But there are theories that you put them out there, they're going to be talked about. Yeah, you know what? I don't watch them. But there are people that send me a lot of stuff, and when you see it and you see it and you see it, it's like, hey, Kills, watch this clip or whatever the case may be. Which is the other thing I can tell you is, and you guys know this, I don't watch other YouTube Walking Dead theories because I don't want them to affect my theories. And that's why it sometimes becomes a problem, because people do watch other channels and then they bring those theories into our chat, and I don't know if they're somebody else's or I don't know if they're theirs, and we disagree with it sometimes. Sometimes we'll say, hey, it's a good theory. But you're assuming if someone's in your chat that they kind of they thought it up, but not the case. A lot of times they're getting it from other people that are broadcasting. I can just tell you that I'm not one of those because I'm not over there watching videos saying, oh, this is a great idea. Let me put this over on my channel. So, and not going to go into it. Like I said, there's no beef. There's no channel wars that are out there. It's a lot of he said, she said. But we are going to transition into contests. And we are, we got some good stuff. We're going to do polls. We're going to do more of these captions. So I'm going to ask everybody, if you guys like the caption contest that we did, give this video a quick thumbs up. If you had a good time with that, it's one of the first ones we've done. And I do want to give a special shout out to Steph, the Cuervo Queen, because she put together this real neat Grimes giveaway package. And we decided to put a caption up. And we wanted to do it the most fair way. So we put the caption up, and then we got a whole bunch of comments, and we didn't just pick the winner. We're like, okay, we're going to pick what we think are the top 3 and let each of you pick the winner. And here it is. This is the official winner for our contest. And it's just a great play from the commercial that's out there. And this was Chris Vandermate with the Grimes giveaway. Says, when you burn down Cheryl's she shed. And you can see they are hitting the road. And I do have to say, when I first saw that and I put it with the picture, I did laugh out loud a little bit. I thought this was really, really incredible. There were some good ones, but I do want to say congratulations to Chris. And what we will do is contact Steph, the Cuervo Queen, on the Facebook Messenger, and she will get your information. That packet of all the Grime stuff, she's going to get it sent out to you. It was really, really good. So, good job with that. And I know it got a ton of votes. I don't know, is everything's streaming so fast. I don't know if Chris is actually here, but he'll watch the playback and we'll get that. Or on Kick, either one. So, and once again, thanks to Steph for setting that up. We will do more contests. We will do more giveaways. I know during the holidays, we usually do some gift card giveaways. We do some trivia. Just a whole lot of cool stuff. So let's get to a couple other super chats because I see them happening. And let's see. This is Sheila Beasley. Tried a couple other channels. 999 Army Kills is the best. Love the caption contest. Keep it up. Thank you. I appreciate that. Any vote of confidence we get is always, it's always heartfelt. So thank you so much. Appreciate that. We got Chris. So Chris I says, what's the verdict on last night's Postergate? Is Valar on it? Enid's not on it. So when I look back the poster, and I think it was Rosita and Tara, and a lot of the conversation was, what about Enid? And that's a little bit of spoiler. Because when they're talking about Hilltop, I think they're talking about Tara being up there. So I do think it's too early to start predicting heads on pikes, because how about potential spoiler alert? Because we don't have the confirmation. It appears that neither Rosita nor Eugene are going to be captured. Now, I might be wrong on that. There could be some Q&A, some spoiler information that comes out in a little bit. But based on the little video clip that we saw, unless they leave Rosita behind, it seems a little bit odd at this point. So it also seems odd, the predictions. I know some people are saying that Jesus dies in 8. I don't think so. Because there's still another scene that we haven't gotten to yet. Remember, we got to piece this together. So I'm going to go a little CSI mode for everybody. Jesus and Aaron are having a conversation. And, they're talking about how Michonne doesn't know about Maggie leaving. So you figure hasn't happened that long ago. So this doesn't look like Maggie just left, or it doesn't look like she left 6 years ago. This is fairly recent. I'm gonna put this on pause for 1 second because we got Scott Kernan super chatting, says, who do you think could die in the mid-season finale? Someone has to die for good shock value and for good writing. Well, Scott, I think some of the people we talked about last night, I don't think so. It seemed like it would make good shock value. Now, hold on. It is still possible that Jesus dies at the end of 8, but if it is, it's going to be at the very end of 8. And this is why. Because we haven't seen the scene with Aaron, Jesus, and Daryl yet. And that's kind of a big clue. So it doesn't mean that can't be at the beginning of 8, and then Jesus and Aaron go off, on their own, and there's a fight that happens at the very end of it. It's still possible. That could be your major ending. But it doesn't look like we're going to be anywhere close to that in 7. So here's what we know based on the video. We've got Jesus and Aaron having a conversation. They look over. There's a flare. They run over to where the flare was. It was Rosita that shot the flare. She's by herself, bleeding. And they start, where's Eugene? Where's Eugene? You left with Eugene. So apparently Eugene is probably in Cheryl's she shed. He's in a cabin. He's in a shed. He's somewhere. She left him behind. And it's about to get dark. So at that point, you have to say that, well, there's 3 possible scenarios, right? And it does still look like we could have that Jesus-Aaron whisper fight. But I don't think so. Because it's about to get dark. Eugene is trapped. And Drama King says, Kills noticed Judith front and center on the poster. I did. I went through the poster and I was kind of looking to see, what made sense. And I did notice there was no Enid. Thomas D with a super chat. Father G and Eugene's character arc is over. Thomas D, I'm not going to disagree. But there's a lot of characters whose arc was over too. I mean, Carol's arc was over until they changed it, right? Daryl never had an arc. Morgan, his arc was over. So it doesn't mean they can't change it. Tara, I mean, there's so many changes from the comic to the TV show. And Eugene is buffed up a little bit. I mean, he did survive the water tower fall, where the Whisperers got him in the comic. So who knows? But I do agree. They could be on a very short leash, but not yet. So there's 3 ways this can play out. Jesus and Aaron are concerned because Eugene's not there, and it's about to get dark. So if they leave with Rosita and they don't go back for Eugene, that doesn't really make a lot of sense because Eugene is seen saying the walkers are evolving. So we know that Eugene lives, and we know that Eugene's going to have some interaction. If Jesus and Aaron go find Eugene and leave Rosita there, Rosita could still be captured, technically. But Aaron and Jesus are not going to go back toward Eugene, and I think be confronted by Beta, and Jesus is definitely not dying because we still have to have the scene between Daryl, Jesus, and Aaron where they're watching the walkers go around in circles. So they don't confront each other there, or that dialogue would not have made any sense when Daryl said, "There's a storm coming," and then have you ever seen the walkers doing this and that scene? So Nothing that we've seen kind of played out makes a lot of sense except one. And that's if we think Rosita is out of the woods, pun fully intended, and she says, no, I'm okay. And then Aaron and Jesus go back for Eugene, and Rosita gets captured. So at this point, the Rosita capture is really all we kind of got with the Whispers. I think in 7. And you know what? It's likely that none of those scenarios will play out. And Scott, that I agree with. I think someone should get captured for us to see Alpha. But if I had to guess at this point, I would say if Rosita shot the flare and it appears that she's safe, she probably is safe, and they go back. They got to set up the Whispers a little bit more for most of the audience. It's looking like something may happen with that fair. Maybe someone gets captured on the way to the fair, and could that be an Ezekiel? If Carol goes to Hilltop, potentially with Henry, Lydia, and Daryl, maybe something happens to Ezekiel on the way to the fair. Or Jerry. But the fact that Carol and Ezekiel are separated right now, I got to ask this question from everybody. The whole 999 Army, I need you to answer this question. Didn't it scare you when Jed took Carol's wedding ring? I mean, did that kind of make you feel like they were setting something up for the end of Ezekiel and Carol? That's just too random, too coincidental. And she went back for it. So you can see that it has just like some super serious meaning. I feel like that's the end of Ezekiel. I mean, why would you just take that unless it's going to mean something for like the rest of her life now? And then, you had Ezekiel. He keeps talking about this fair, and, he's kind of being tough with Henry. One, that's for the boy, and that's for the man. Like passing the torch to him. Yeah, I feel like there's some bad things coming with Ezekiel. So Sheila Beasley says, what is the fair? She's confused. So it looks like they're setting up this type of market fair where, they set up different trading booths or whatever for all the communities to get together. Just an event to kind of get everybody involved, because they've been building up and sort of keeping to their own. So now they want to get to a point where it's free trade again with each other. So, yeah, there is like a party planned. And that's random, too. They ain't doing no party on The Walking Dead unless there's some stuff that's going to go down. So, yeah, I feel like there's going to be some major events there that maybe that's where we'll officially see the Whispers. Scott Kernan says, as if Michonne's group is beheaded somewhere scary. Michonne's group? No, way too early. I mean, if you mean Michonne's current group, because she's with Magna and Company, I think that group's safe. They just got introduced. Randy Walden. Henry saw that Carol had the ring back. Do you think Henry will do something stupid when he learns the Saviors were torched and he knows what Carol did? Randy, I really feel like there's three dynamics happening right now. And it's who's captured, who gets beheaded, and what instigates Henry following Lydia back. Whether he falls for her really quickly or whether he just doesn't like the circumstance of which she's taken back. That he feels like she wanted to get away and she wanted to stay and she was forced to go back with them. And I think Henry's at a point where he's going to feel like he's doing the right thing. And I don't think people are going to have a problem with it this time. It's not like it's something stupid like letting Gregory out of the pen. I think most people, if they see Henry try to defend Lydia, I think they're going to be okay with it, even though it might turn out to be might turn out to be a rough decision. Scott Kernan says they are safe. It just looks like they will see something scary, perhaps a whisper. I feel like Connie senses it. I know we see a little bit of that, and it's like, you know what? But I think because she's deaf, I think her other senses are just extremely heightened, and she just feels like people are watching her. That she just knows something else is going on. Commodore Crawfish. Fair is really Fight Club? Yeah, well, you don't talk about it, right? And you just made me say it, so I had to read it, but I shouldn't have. Yeah. Huh. Stradivarius, 4 strings, 4 people dead. I haven't really gotten into the thought, or I'm sure there's a myth or a story around Stradivarius, the type of sound or the type of music note that it plays. And maybe it does tie into, you heard the PPP was a note and it could have been from a piano. Well, maybe that holds true with the violin as well. I did some rough research, but I didn't really dig into the meaning. Really good theories in this stream tonight. Also meaning something with trade. Yeah. We saw this so long ago. That, if the PPP did really relate to the Whispers, that would have been 7 years ago. And I don't think it did because, I think it's been somewhat confirmed that Heath was taken as well. Didn't we get a confirmation from Angela Kang about Heath being missing? And we saw the RV as well. So I think the PPP, that's more of a hint with the helicopter people. And Heath's glasses fell out. Luke was, actually, Brandy. So one of Magna's group is a music teacher. Luke certainly is. Derek Dixon, is Judith the only one with a gun? They need guns. I guess bullets are kind of hard to come by. So everybody sort of taught themselves other weapons. Well, and they're also more quiet because, I think the battle for the most part has been versus the walkers. So a lot of bow and arrow, a lot of slingshots going on. I love it. The PPP card, don't leave home without it. You know what, Ramon Carter? That would have been a great caption for the caption contest. See, all these good comments come out a little bit late. You might have got some votes. So without the Q&A, and we may not get spoilers for a couple weeks. I think people are just kind of holding tight. It's wishful thinking. But if we get something to post, we'll talk about them a little bit more. So if we're not going to get a Eugene capture, and we're not going to get a fight between Beta, Jesus, and Aaron this week, what else we got? I mean, I hope they're not hanging their hat on the Daryl's dog scene. I guess the Lydia introduction is going to be one of the keys for this week. That's got to happen this week. I can't see that waiting, another week. But could we see another group venture out? Let's throw that out there. We got Michonne's group. Perhaps they have a run-in. Brandy, maybe Stradivarius has something to do with that. I missed the first part of that. Brandy, has something to do with what? By the time the super chat post, I don't know what topic we were on before. Mods, if you can take a look at her next comment and see if she can clarify that for me. Scott says possible Hilltop isn't in this episode. It's possible, but I don't think it's likely because I think that they've got to get Lydia up to Hilltop as quick as possible. Valar, super chat. Sorry, kills PPP. Purchasing power parity. Trade between countries. And you think that might have been the helicopter people? I mean, they were trading people, so yeah, I think that's a good call out. And it would make sense that the whispers were recent. We got Jimmy Jammin'. Jimmy with a super chat says, well, hey, better late than never. Hi, mods. Emmy, Kel, Queen Steph. Tommy, and all the 909. Greetings to all. It's okay. Now you got to watch 30 minutes of the playback, Jimmy. You know the rules. There are rules. Yeah, early on, because I think we were so hungry for the Whisper arc, and it's 7 years ago, so I doubt they were even, not that I doubt, I almost feel like I know that they would have been close to Oceanside. So I don't think they were out there lurking and not doing anything. I mean, that would have been 7 years that we never saw a person's head on a pike. So I think you guys are right. I think the PPP had to be, we were made to believe it was something to do with the Whispers, but it was really something to do with the helicopter people. And the Whispers are just something over the last few years. So we got Mystic says, it's just a theory. PPP price per person. Yeah, I mean, I think I think any of those things, you know what? It just could have been a label. I said this a while back. PPP might not have meant anything. It might have just been a key card that you use wherever they're taking Rick. Maybe it's just this is room P, this is room PP, this is room PPP. I mean, I don't know. I think it was something that was planted to give us a whole bunch of stuff to talk about that might just be a way to get in. I know we want everything to mean something major, but at this point, I mean, what if we see Rick in a movie and the dude's like, hang on, where you got the key card? No, I thought you had it. Nope, I certainly gave it to you. Well, how are we going to get in this door? You must have lost it, man. Maybe it fell out of the helicopter and we were taking the dude that had the glasses. Where's his glasses? Oh, I guess his glasses fell too. I mean, we might find out in the movie. But it just seems less likely that it has to do with anything at this point. There's a whole lot of loose ends that never get tied. Lee George, anyone know of an online site that offers a condensed version of the comic book? It does help to know the comic book here. It does. And you know what? That's a great question. And I've done 107 of them, Lee. So there are some on the site where I actually do the comic reading. It's about a 10-minute reading, so it's not super, super long. I mean, there is a Walking Dead wiki that has the comic book information. But over the next couple of weeks, well, not over the next couple of weeks, after the next couple of weeks, we are going to ramp up more of the comic reads. So you'll probably see 3 or 4 of those a week coming up. Because I do want to get through them and get caught up by the end of the season. It's a good question, though. But yeah, that knowledge definitely helps. So we got Brandy Post. I was talking about Luke being a music teacher and Stradivarius being an instrument, so maybe that is connected in some way. Brandy, it definitely could be. And here's the one thing about the titles, is sometimes they mean something deep. Sometimes it's just a comment that someone makes, and that's the title. So I would be inclined to say you're right. Like, Luke might be making an analogy and talking about, what he taught, what his, the hardest instrument was, any of the above. I think it's just going to be like a sidebar. Usually the titles don't give us too much into the storyline, but then we kind of hear somebody say, it's like, oh, that's it, that's the title. Kay Hensley says, maybe Jadis already knew about the Whispers, that's why she left. Kay, it's possible, but I think a couple of reasons why I feel like she left. One is they were back and she never paid her debt. And the second reason is because Rick apparently didn't trust her. And with all the people Rick had at his disposal, one would think that the people in the helicopter were a bigger threat to her if things got heated. So I don't know if it's really about the whispers. I feel like that the people in the helicopter got some resources, and she just didn't think that Rick would have her back. And even if he did have her back, I don't know that he had enough resources to take them down. And that is another resource. Commodore says not condensed, but look up Walking Bread. So there is another site that can give you comic information. And I think, doesn't Ronnie do Walking Dead comics or a recap of those? Somebody else does. Because I think I've seen them pop up in my recommended feed. There's one YouTuber that in addition to Walking Dead, they go in detail with the comics. So Christopher Sage says, time to pike the like button. I like pike the like. Oh, you got it, man. You got it. I think we got our newest T-shirt. That is really good. All right. If you guys like Christopher's super chat comment, make sure we got 500, 600, 700 people here. Let's pike the like. Hey, you know what? We're going to see. It is catchy. There's no doubt about it. All right. I'm gonna answer this because I get this question a lot for some reason. So I'm just gonna address it one more time because I did at the beginning of this. Somebody just asked me about Movie Idol. I don't watch any Walking Dead YouTube channels. So if you ask me that question, have I ever seen parts or clips or something that, yes, I mean, I know they're out there. I know the names of them. I don't have an opinion. Many people out there have opinions. I know the names. I know the Trevs. I know the Movie Idol. I know the PT. I know the Ronnie. But I don't watch them. No, you don't have to apologize. I'm just saying if you ask me, what do you think about this person or that person, I don't. And it's not because maybe I would like them. But I just don't want to, whatever they're talking about, whatever they're thinking, I don't want to think that way. I want to kind of formulate our own ideas and then get in our chat and sort of analyze things instead of, if you watch something else, you tend to walk away saying, okay, yeah, let me talk about that, or that's a good idea. So we just kind of do our own chat, and it forms. It comes up with, there'll be a topic that I pick either during the day, and that's what I want to talk about for that day, or I figure that'll create a lot of dialogue, or there's a lot of interest around that, and it just sort of forms its own thing. Sometimes we'll talk about a similar topic 2 or 3 days in a row if we don't bring full closure to it. And then toward the end of the week, we do the spoiler updates to validate or disprove, which is what's kind of funny. We use spoiler sites to validate or disprove. So it's not like we're trying to be the first to get it right. We're trying to have fun talking about it. And there's many times, I'm going to ask everybody in this group, have we ever come up with a theory that I've gotten in here and said, wow, yeah, I came up with that. That doesn't make any sense, but I own up to it. And I will tell you, it's a loaded question because I've done that on many occasions where we've talked about something and then went back and disproved our own idea. So I don't think it's a race. I just think it's kind of the experience. It's sort of going through it. I still got the Pike the like button on there. I think that might be a t-shirt. Cindy, I don't know how I feel about that. Kills you're not always right, but you're never wrong. Thank you, I think. And welcome. You know what? Now's a good time to probably do that because there's a lot of stuff that clearly spoilers are going to be released probably late tonight. So we might have to do an emergency stream over the weekend and just get some dialogue out around that. But if you are new to the channel, and by new I mean you've only been here for like a couple weeks, give me a quick 999 up in chat because I want to give you guys some shout outs before the end of this video, or at least some recognition, because we got a lot of veteran people here that are very experienced with all things The Walking Dead. So we got The Adrift, Brittany Gilligan, Corey Bollmeyer, Daniel Lee, a lot of new people here. Oh, come on, Star Guitar Goddess, you ain't new here. Silly. Brandon Seals, Angela McMillan's been here for a while. Angela, you're making your second trip here. See, I don't forget you guys. So, ton of new people. Anyway, you guys can see. Great support, and we appreciate you being here. Hopefully you'll subscribe, come back, hang out with us. Awesome, awesome stuff. Well, I wish there was more spoiler information out there. But, we kind of play the hand we're dealt. Well, it's a catch-22. It's like you get spoiled. Bad word. Not spoiled. I guess you get into a routine. So we've sort of planned our routine around when the spoilers have been released. So we do our predictions a couple days early so we can kind of be ready to see the answers. But you know what? If the answers don't show up, even if they don't show up by Sunday, I'm cool with that. We'll just restructure how we do our chats. Nothing wrong with doing extended predictions all the way up until the show starts and then being surprised by it. So either way, I'm happy. BVB Army, who would dislike? Believe it or not, there's a group of about 10 to 15 people who support other channels, and every time we do a video, they pop over here and dislike the video. I guess they think that it does something, or we lose commission or something. It doesn't. Honestly, the only purpose of a like and a dislike is just to gauge participation. It doesn't do anything for ratings. It doesn't change how many views you get. It's just, we like to get as much honest feedback as we possibly can. And I do know we got several people just pop over here and that's all they do. I thought Doggy Dixon was what they were going with. Jonathan, gonna wear the like button? Not as good as Pike the Like. Pike the Like is see what's ironic is I just mentioned that, and then two of the clowns who were lurking in the background were like, "Oh yeah, I forgot. My sole purpose for being here was to hit the dislike." So when I made that comment, like 2 people hit the dislike button. It's fine. I'm glad I reminded you to do what it is that you came here to do. If I was a hey, you know what? If I was a sad snowflake, I would be talking about how those people were trying to clown me right now by hitting the dislike button, and I'd be getting really angry that that they didn't like the video. Somebody got it. It is. We had some rough weather. So I got a couple more topics that I am going to get to, but before we get to the very end of this video, I am going to say that, well, you know what? Commodore, when a troll dislikes they get basement excited. I'm missing half of that. Crawfish, either I read it wrong or I need to buy a vowel, because your super chat threw me off that time for real. Jason, the mix says, "Kills, don't worry about the haters. Keep doing your thing." Hey, you guys know what? When we started doing this, there were maybe 4 people doing it. And there's a whole lot of people out there, and there's a lot of people that do it well and have their own group and their own niche. But we're not changing anything. I'm going to tell you why we're not changing anything, because most of you have been here from 5,000 to 80,000. A lot of you have been here from our Facebook page that was 50 people to just tremendous growth. 700 plus people on our fan page, and then our Patreon site, the people that show love and show support for this channel, unbelievable. And on top of that, you throw in our sponsors and just a fun group of super chatters, and I think we have an interactive forum that I'm thrilled to be a part of. And I'm not going to say I'm thrilled to lead it. I am. But I don't consider myself leading. I consider myself being a part of it. And you guys are absolutely incredible. And every day, I thank you for what you guys do. Graylin28, interesting theory I just read about Stradivarius violin, says violin mimics aspect of human voice. Maybe reason for the title. And I think, Graylin, you probably found what I was looking for. Because I was doing a little bit of research on that, but I was looking up like myths and legends, and so thank you for that. I think that could be a good tie-in to the Whispers, or it could just have something to do with Luke. DD Ohio, Kills, do you think trolls are trying to start an argument between YouTubers? Let me say this. There is no argument between YouTubers. Because I'm going to say whatever I'm going to say. And when other people say stuff, it doesn't bother me. If they go on a broadcast or they do their thing, there is no argument there. Apparently, other people get more offended by it, but it rolls off. So yes, I mean, people want to stir stuff up. People want to start things, or they want to give half a story. But what difference does it make? Here's the other thing that you guys may not be aware of. People who were rude on this channel, that got blocked on this channel, where do you think they are right now? Well, they're not here anymore, so they're probably not the happiest former members of what we do. So, of course, they're over there giving people views or whatever they do. But those just aren't the kind of views and the type of interaction that we want. Captain Crawfish, every time a troll hits a dislike button, they get excited while they're in their basement. It could have been cruder. Yes, I get it now. Now, since we got a little bit off topic, you know what? We'll do a little bit of extended chat because there's going to be people tune in and they're going to get half the story. So we'll talk about it. Once we do the shout outs, we'll do a little bit of extended chat and then we'll get on the whole trolling topic. How about that? Hey, I know where you're going with it, Commodore. But it takes two people to argue. Oh, boy. Dude jacks, he jacks somebody else's name, makes a fake name. Yeah. So, the one thing that I would ask, and the maturity out of this group, we have moderators. And our moderators do a good job of blocking, and there's always going to be trolls that come from other channels. So our mods stay pretty busy. And the thing that I would ask you, because we have a very passionate, significant group, just block out the outside noise. Don't spam people's videos. Don't dislike their videos. Don't get involved in their stuff. Don't hype them up. Don't get over there and, take on a group of 30 people and feel like you got to represent. What we do here. And like I said, it takes two people. If someone has their feeling, and you know what? If there's other YouTube people out there that watch our videos and disagree with our theories, that's fine. They can. It's all good. You don't have to agree with everything that we talk about. But some people just take it personally. Scott Kernan says, hashtag love the army. Agree with that. Have a good night, Jessica. Thank you. Walking Dead Nerd says, Kills, why do you think Michonne is mad at other communities? Because of Rick. Well, I think she's scared. Definitely that loss has been something emotionally. Raising two kids alone and being a leader and being head of security. It's a lot on her plate. And, I think a lot of it is she's had more important things to do. And everybody sort of got that Maggie mentality of, okay, we're going to take care of our own. Trade the necessities. And there's probably a little more to it that we'll find out as well. Commodore, I'm allowed to be here, and yet I still smile. Yeah, I think most of our viewers like being here and like participating. I hope so. I hope they don't feel like it's a task or an obligation. Robin Riddler, Kills, what do you think of the change they made to Kelly from the comic counterpart? I have not gotten this far into the comic, Robin. So I did not get the Magna introduction. I'm on 107. Still in the Carl storyline. Yeah, T-Ray, lots of stuff happened during the time jump. And I think we're just going to get such a limited amount of information because a lot of that is going to be, it's going to be for the movie. Now, I do have to tell you that months ago, when I threw the theory out there that Rick would leave via helicopter and maybe they would make a movie, I was only serious about the helicopter. I didn't think there was any way in hell there would be a Walking Dead movie. The only backing I even had for that idea was the fact that they did the premiere in a theater, and when that happened, I was like, you know what? Maybe they're setting us up to try to get to a bigger audience. But that was like kind of closing my eyes and throwing a dart at the board, and it just happened. Who knew? Crawfish, it does look like the sanctuary is done. That they had already merged those people into the other communities, and there were just a few of Jed's gang. So, question for the group. Is Negan going to find out that Carol burned the Saviors alive? And there's a follow-up question to that. There's definitely a follow-up. So, Carol fans out there, don't you think that's a little bit worse than what Negan did? I've never really sided with Negan because of the baseball bat thing. But burning several people alive in their sleep, it's bad. It's beyond bad. Scott Kernan says, Kang said we get answers to Maggie's whereabouts. Scott, I just don't, as we kind of touched on last night, we get the answers, but it's probably mostly going to be watered down and it's going to be in dialogue. Unless they film some of it and we see a little bit of that taking place or a little bit of where's Maggie now. Maybe they filmed half episodes and put a clip in it. But if we don't see it this week, then it's just going to be like Aaron and Jesus talking about it. DJ says, Kills, I have a good question for you. If The Walking Dead had the opportunity to get one A-list actor on the show, which one would you choose? Good question. I'm kind of at a loss right now. I can't think of someone. You know what? I'm gonna have to get back to you on that one. Because I like what they do with the characters they have. I don't know that there's an A-list actor out there that I would care to see every week in and week out. That's a great question, though. She said the obvious prediction is correct, Georgie. Yeah, I mean, she's gone with Georgie, but I guess, Scott, my point was, I think people just would have liked to seen her leave, like get in the truck, say goodbye to a few people. And I'm just wondering how much conversation is going to be around it. Like, okay, we know Herschel's gone, but we're going to find out probably a little bit from Enid, if Enid's still there, a little bit from Jesus, a little bit from Earl, and we're going to see how life's different. Justin Lewis says John Cena. I mean, I guess like a Conor McGregor whisper. There you go. I'd go for that. Conor McGregor whisper. Only because it's really hard to say. Because it's just a whole lot of syllables. Christopher Walken Walker. I guess instead of a caption contest, we could do a name that sounds the most like a Walker name. Yeah, I don't think I'd be a big fan of that either. Hey, we've hit an hour and 2 minutes. We are rolling right along. So, spoiler updates, basically that 2-minute clip that we saw. I've been checking for updates, and no, we got nothing in addition to it. So what we'll do is we'll have to throw together an emergency stream. So if it comes up late tonight, then maybe we'll get a late night stream out there with some spoilers. If not till tomorrow, then we'll throw it then. And if we don't see spoilers, then we'll do our regularly scheduled programs, which will be Saturday and Sunday. Crawford Rolling. Oh, come on. I'm not. I don't think I can. I can't read that critique. No hate to Mick Jagger, Keith Richards. So, all right, everybody. We're going to wind this thing down. So, do want to thank everybody for being here. You guys are absolutely amazing. The support, the chat, the interaction. Always a pleasure with everybody. Do want to give some shout outs to our patrons up in the top left corner. Thank you so much, patrons, for your support. You guys are absolutely incredible. We also got our sponsors. We got our moderators, Emmy, Steph, Tommy, and Kels. And Super Chatters night. We had a lot of Super Chatters. So let me shout out our Super Chatters once again. And you know what? I am not going to be able to do that because YouTube is actually having some technical difficulty, which is probably why all the graphics are not showing up on the screen. So I guess we will hold off with that temporarily. Let's just do some 999s and get some shout outs to everybody. I'll contact YouTube and see what's up because it looks like they probably had our thumbnail up for a little while too. All right, let's wind this thing down with a few shout-outs. So Shane Yahtzee, Tommy V, Ron Burgundy, Andy Lou, BBB Army, Albert Author, Chris Riddle, Sheila Mack, Nerd Life, Anna Demo, thank you. Frank P, Brandon Burns, Gamma, Jeff, Joyce Andrews, Lisa Khaleesi, DJ, Jonathan Jordan, thank you for being here. Penny for your thoughts. Rublo's channel. Lieutenant Ripley from the English Division. Gamma, thank you. Rosemary Abbott. The Catnat. And a whole lot of people. You guys can see them streaming. So I did say that we would do a little extended cut because I don't want our videos to be about this. So, because I don't know. You know, sometimes you ignore things. Sometimes you want to bring closure to it. Sometimes just talking about it is seen as a swipe at other people. So I'm going to try to bring some closure to it, and we'll see what happens. It's not a beef. It's not stuff that's out there. So there are times when we have viewers who go to watch other channels. We also have people that put their original ideas. And sometimes we agree, sometimes we disagree. But there are people that go back and forth. It's like, hey, did you hear what Kill said, blah, 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 about this, about that. You know, somebody throws a theory out there, I'm going to agree with it or disagree with it. It's no offense to the person throwing it out there. I don't throw stones from a glass house. I'm going to tell you that a large portion of the things that we discuss and things we talk about end up being incorrect. And I'll be the first person to admit it. No one's claiming otherwise. No one's saying we're trying to say our ideas are better than other people. The only thing that we really claim is the fact that our forum and our structure, I think, is better than other people because it's an interactive, real-time forum. And I think that makes it fun because it's not just about my ideas. And I'm not trying to force my theories and my viewpoints on everybody. I want it to be a combination. And when people respond to it in a negative way, they only get half the story. I don't know how many more times I can say to people that I respect every YouTuber that's out there for the work that they put in. But I don't have to agree with everybody. And if I disagree with them, they shouldn't take it as a personal attack. So hopefully that clarifies as much as I can clarify. Nothing personal. But if I don't like your idea, I'm going to say I don't like the idea. Don't make it about you. Hopefully. Does that seem harsh? I mean, to people who are just kind of hanging out, because I don't want to come across as callous or arrogant or pompous. I mean, that's really not my point. It's just it's the way I've always approached chat. It's the way I've always approached debate. And I do like to chat and I do like to debate things. And a lot of times when you're seeing ideas in real time, you don't have time to coddle and say, you know, it's a really good idea, but this. Sometimes you're just kind of in the moment and say, no, I think this instead. So hopefully that is clear. I mean, that's who I am, and you know, if people don't like it, I can respect that. Not everybody has to like it, but it keeps the chat going. And if there's another YouTuber out there that took it personally, I never ever would say something for anybody to take personal offense to. But I don't agree with the ideas, and if I don't agree and I think that, okay, that's a bad spoiler or a bad theory, and I'm going to say it's a bad theory. But I'm not saying you just had a bad theory and I've never had one. I've done a ton of crappy videos, a ton. But I'm not going to stop doing it because I like talking about it and I like getting it out there. But if I do one that's rushed and it's wrong, believe me, I get called out for it and comments and criticized, and I'm okay with it. So anyway, that's why I want to do this kind of after the chat. I want it to sort of be an unwinding. So, you know, the 4 or 5 people that like to go back and forth, take this and go back to your leader or whatever and just say, Kills just kept it real. So, wow, we got super chats. We got super chats in the aftermath here. Who would spend money to get their point across? Crawfish would. I love the paradox. Scott Kernan, if Herschel Jr. still at Hilltop, oh, that ain't happening. Herschel's gone. You know that, Scott. And thank you. Commodore, I know at least 50% of your super chats are going to be serious, so I do appreciate it. No kills. You make us all feel equal here. And it's, you are. I mean, nobody here is any more important than the next person. You know, we're all in this thing together. Shiner Happy Day says, I've always felt so much love. I hope so. I hope you guys feel welcome. Awesome. I'm still here. I'm just kind of winding it down. All right. I want to thank all of you. Hopefully, there was this storm thing that went through, ice, sleet, all across, from central the United States all the way across the East Coast. Hopefully, all of you guys are safe. A couple people messaged us earlier, it's like either got stuck or slipped and fell. So just be very careful with everything that you guys do, especially as we get into this winter weather. And once again, thank you for everything that you guys do. This has been a little bit more kind of to the point, a little bit more sincere, I think, the aftermath of our stream. And thanks to those of you that stuck around. But have a good night. You guys go get some rest, and let's do this again. Probably not tomorrow. There's a concert that I'm going to be attending, and I will talk about it on Saturday. So, yeah. It's going to be good times. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night. And maybe have some pictures posted on the Patreon site and possibly on the Facebook fan page. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.